Here in sunny Florida, our white sandy beaches are full of sunbathers trying to get dark tans, and you may be one of them. Well, that tan may look good on you now, but what will skin cancer look like on you in the future? The American Academy of Dermatology says that 1 in every 5 people will be diagnosed with skin cancer in your lifetime. Did you hear me? That means one of us will be diagnosed with skin cancer. Well, I'm very familiar with skin cancer. My mother is a survivor, and because of that, she was adamant about keeping her kids from getting sunburned. My name is Jessica Coleman, and I'm doing everything possible that I can to not be the one to get skin cancer. The American Cancer Society says that skin cancer is the most common cancer out there, and it can be prevented. I will show you ways that you can prevent or at least reduce the chances of you getting skin cancer just simply by wearing sunscreen. I'll show you what kind to buy, how to apply it, and where to apply it. But before I get started with that, let's talk about skin cancer in detail and why it is so lethal. There's 3 different kinds of skin cancer: squamous cell and basal cell, but the worst one is the melanoma. That's the bad one. Melanomas, according to the American Cancer Society, 76,000 people will be diagnosed with melanoma this year alone. 43,000 of those are going to be men, and out of that, 9,000 will die. So this is a very serious cancer. If you're thinking to yourself right now that you have a funny spot somewhere, that now you want to know if it's melanoma, well, let's talk about the ABCs of melanoma. A is asymmetry. Is one half unlike the other half if you were to segment it off. B is for the borders. Are they scalloped around the edges and irregular? C is the color and the variation of the mole. Does it change color and darker on one side, lighter on the other? D is the diameter. Is it greater than 6 millimeters across? That's the size of a pencil eraser. So this is what it looks like on the outside. No big deal, right? Well, the problem is what's going on underneath the skin. This is the lethal part. You can't see what's going on underneath the skin. It's metastasizing. Has it gone to your liver, to your brain, or to your lymph nodes? So as you can tell, melanoma is very serious. You live in Florida. You're going to be out in the sun, so you've got to protect yourself. Let's move on to sunscreen. What kind do you need to buy? The FDA has mandated that the labels be easier to understand. So the American Academy of Dermatology recommends 3 things: SPF of 30 or higher, broad spectrum. That means it covers UVA and UVB sunlight. Your UVA, that penetrates through the skin and damages the cells underneath the skin. Those are the things that cause the wrinkling. UVB burns the surface of the skin. So you need broad spectrum to cover both of those. Also, your sunscreen needs to be water resistant. Waterproof is not allowed on the label anymore, so make sure you're not buying sunscreen that says that. It has to be water resistant. Alright, now you know what to buy. Where are you going to put it? We all know the face, the arms, and the legs, but the areas that most people forget are your ears, right up here, the tops of your feet, the back of your neck, and don't forget your lips. So moms out there, please be careful with your babies. The American Cancer Society has found that early sun damage and exposure is changing the DNA of the cells and leading those cells down the path of melanoma. So I'm going to go back one slide just to show you. The American Academy of Dermatology says we should be using 1 ounce of sunscreen to cover our body, and most likely we're not using that much. An ounce to you college students out there, that's the size of a shot glass. And moms out there, that's the size of a medicine cup. Alright. Put that sunscreen on 15 minutes before you're out in the sun, not when you get there. Put the sunscreen on at home before you even get in your car to go to the beach, before you go to the water park, and before you get out in the pool. It's not effective just to put it on then jump in the water. It takes 15 minutes for it to absorb in your skin to provide you the protection you need. And you've got to put it back on every 2 hours. That sunscreen is breaking down in the sun, the chemicals in the sunscreen, and it needs to be reapplied every 2 hours. So now you know what kind to buy and where to apply it. But if you're going out in the sun anyway, Sunburns are not comfortable. They're not pretty and they hurt. Dr. Jennifer Stein on WebMD has some suggestions in case this happens to you. Take cool baths to keep the temperature down. Pat yourself dry, leaving some of the moisture on, and cover up with a moisturizer that has aloe and soy. That prevents some of the dryness of the skin. Your hydrocortisone creams may be necessary. You can buy those over the counter. Put those on the very extreme sunburn spots. But avoid your sprays and your lotions that have canes in them. Those are actually irritating to the skin and you can develop allergic reactions to them. You may have to use some Tylenol, some ibuprofen for the redness and the swelling. But most of all, drink plenty of water. That sunburn is drawing water out of your organs and your bloodstream to the surface of your skin to try to heal. So make sure you're replenishing your body so you don't get dehydrated. Now that's just a simple sunburn, but if this happens to you, you've got a 2nd-degree burn. Those blisters are there for a reason. Don't pop them. Those blisters are there to help heal and prevent infection. So as you can see, sunburns, skin cancer, melanomas, and sunscreen, they all work together. You've got to be very careful. There's a reason I don't have pictures on here of actual people with melanomas. It's very life-altering. It's very scary and grotesque, but you can see them for yourself online. And I have found this website. This is Eric Sizemore's Journey Through Cancer. It didn't end well. So you may be thinking, oh, I'm young, this won't happen to me. It's just an ugly mole. I can get it cut off. Well, sometimes you can't just simply cut it off. His journey is very vivid, and if you like to look at it, I've got the website for you right here. Now you still may be thinking, that's no big deal. Those moles will just go away. I can cover it up. Well, I know you have your whole life ahead of you. Make good choices. The only person responsible for you is you, and you can prevent this by just wearing sunscreen. And I hope you have your whole life ahead of you.